Good morning, YouTube. I'm Papa J, and welcome to Papa J's shop. We've got a good time today back here. This is a deluxe master bath in a fairly elaborate house, and due to no one really's fault, this side's perfect. This side looks right, but apparently is wrong according to the design. So what we've got to do, these drawers are supposed to be here. This door is supposed to be here. And we've done this before, but we threw a little ringer into it in that the countertops are already all on and it has the makeup drawer. And that is going to be the problem because it's attached in there with some wood blocks, as you've seen me do. There we go. Now you can see the wood blocks. And I might have even installed this and not realized it myself that something wasn't quite right there. But I don't think so. I don't remember. Too many. So anyway, that's the beginning here of the before. And I'm going to put you on the tripod, get some things taken apart and set up, and I'll be back. However many. So the third hand wasn't quite tall enough, and what I did, I just grabbed a scrap box and set it up on that, and I just brought it up. As you can see, it still wiggles just a little. You know, I can run out the quarter turn there and just putting enough pressure on it to hold it. So then we can come back over here and pull the screws out of it. And I'm seeing, so we've got the bottom is all broke loose and both sides are broke loose. And I'm free of this knee drawer, but I am still caught behind the granite. And again, they have a ton of glue there. So I am going to have to cut some more and see if I can get in underneath that a little more. There we go. That time I got it all the way. So now it should pop free. See, like that. Now the trick I've got is because this is notched into that granite, I'm actually having to pull the side, and I don't have a good way to show you. I'm pulling the side of this cabinet in ever so slightly because it's free up here. Once the face frame's gone, that's what holds it in place. It allows me to pop it in, and that allows that face frame to come in and come free of that knee drawer so that there's less chance of damage. Okay, now I'm going to bring this over just so you can see what happened here. So we've pulled that free here, and I've got it just pulled out of this little notch, and now it's free. All that was holding it was a little bit of glue. All right, back you go. So now that that's off, we've got some cleaning up to do. In this case, he did have a nail over here that I'm assuming he used as a locator, and that's fine. And we have to remember that we did move that side, so we're going to push it back most of the way. Actually, no, I'm not. See, I do screw up all the time. I'll need to leave that out to hook the face frame here, and then I'll tap it back to seat that face frame down inside that notch. Because the goal here is to do this without anybody knowing that we did it. If it's done correctly, you shouldn't be able to tell it was done at all. I need to get a new pair of these. The tips are broken. And every once in a while, I'll catch this one that's just barely visible, and getting a hold of it with the flat is a little challenging. Okay, there's that side. And we don't have any real residue of the glue, so we're pretty good there. While we're right here, I'm going to pop these tracks out. Now, 3 of these we're going to reuse. We'll get it out of there, just so it's out of the way. All right, we got a few more staples to pull. Okay, everything is cleaned out of here. And like I said, this filler stayed put. I mean, it would fall if I messed with it too much, but for the most part, it just stayed where it was. Now, before I go any further, I have a template for lining up these holes. So I'll grab the, there we go. And all this template is, I took one of the cabinets that we were going to toss that happened to be this same drawer size, drawer bank. I just grabbed the back out of it, trimmed it up, marked it for this is the trim side or the clean side. So it saves a lot of steps. Now, if you don't have a template, you can still do it. You just take and measure where the location of those holes, original holes were, and transfer them over. In this case, we have one, and it helps me to line up my template. So I can say there, I know it fits there because we're lined up. And just like that, we've got a new set of holes. Of course, I left the tracks in the other room, but that's all right. We don't need them yet. So we are ready for our hot glue gun, which I probably should have turned on a while ago and let it start warming up, but I didn't. And our new face frame, which is all prepped and ready to go. And while that warms up, we can get this seated into place. So again, we're going to pull that side over just enough to start setting this face frame on. Nice snug fit. Come over to the other side. And it should pop right on there as well. And our filler decided to fall, of course. I told you I said that too soon. There we go. And we'll worry about that after we get this done. Again, nice snug fit. And it's not attached, of course, because the glue's not warm yet. But we're getting there. Well, you noticed probably that this popped loose when I was putting it on. And that's totally okay. We can reattach it. Now, if I were doing this new, and on the desk video, we talked about it a little bit, I would probably not put screws in this. You always run the risk of splitting these, and it could still happen when I do this, but I'm hoping I luck out and it doesn't. Notice I didn't say it's not going to, because that would jinx me. How are we doing for, oh yeah, we're getting warmed up here. So we'll throw a fresh stick in to be ready. And I would rather glue this before we screw it together. It really doesn't matter which order you do it in. for the first round of glue is just a bunch of globs anyway. I don't think, there, that seated it. Now I use a ton of glue when I put these on, more so than they did at the factory, partly because it's a different kind of glue and partly because we don't have the staples to hold it while it dries. So I put a lot more and then I hold it physically until it dries. Oops, back that out just a little. And the extra glue just gives you a little extra hold. It doesn't hurt anything to have extra glue. It hurts to have not enough glue. So now that we have that in, I'm going to put a screw in up here. And as you can see, I'm running it at a slight angle down. The other one I'm going to run at a slight angle up. And I'm incredibly careful to make sure I can feel, if this even started to bulge just the slightest bit, I would stop, back that out, and abandon that hole. In this case, it didn't. Everything seems to be fine. And there's a lot of ways to mount one of these. This is not my favorite, but it is totally acceptable. There we go. Nice flush finish. We're going to add a little bit more glue here, and then we can start putting things back together. Now I run a really small bead right across this front, just because we can't get to the bottom of it, which is where the factory would put a bead. Do the same thing with the countertop to replace their glue, and that helps support that face frame up here as well. And we need another stick. It's a good thing Jan just told me she got me another bag of these, because I'm running through them pretty fast this week. Now I tend to glob this up and just let it run down in on its own, and it so far has seemed to work out pretty good. Again, I use a lot of glue on these, and they put it in the back where it's out of sight. I would rather have too much glue than have this come back off. All right, next step is we're going to turn the glue gun off and put it where it can drip safely onto a plastic bag. Downside of the glue is you end up with glue stringies all over you. Always makes me think I walked into a spider web. Alrighty, let's get this piece, this filler in, or back in, I should say. There we go. Now I know that he had a hole here, so I'm going to have one a little higher than his. That was good. See if we can pull him back out without having to tear it all apart. There we go. So I'm going to set a hole quite high here. And I hit his anyway. If you can hit the other hole perfectly, that's great, but chances of it are pretty slim. In that case, I did. Didn't even realize I was doing it, and I managed to hit it. So the filler is on, and we're going to put some tracks back in here. Now, we can't reuse the original door because handle's on the wrong side. So, and there's that one. And that one. And our missing screw over here. There we go. Now we can snap back the false front across the top. And we can reuse our original drawers. Whoop, let's get this out of here. We can put him back. And put him back. And the only thing left to do is we'll take this handle back off of the old door. And we're going to adjust this door up a bit because it's sagging pretty bad. So we'll loosen the screws back again. And we'll bring him up even to where that drawer is. That way the alignment looks proper, or at least a lot closer. I am still going to do a full video on cabinet door adjustment. I've started it like 5 times and haven't quite accomplished it yet. I really like that DeWalt tape measure, but it sure likes to go off and wander about on its own. So we have a 3-inch wide handle. We're going to come down here 3 inches. Now, if you're doing this for the first time, I highly recommend putting some tape on there, and that way you can make sure of your measurement. In my case, I've done this a million times, and I still screw it up once in a while. Now, once you have it on, you can find anything that has a point. Not the best choice of screws, but it's going to work. And use that just to make a little center punch dent. Open it up, and we'll run our drill through. Now, if somebody wants to scream about not putting a block on the back of that, in this case, I don't need to. These are a hardwood maple door, and I use ultra sharp cobalt drill bits, 3/16 drill bits, and I throw them away and replace them constantly, or sharpen them and replace them. I don't throw them away. They're a little more expensive, but one of the things that they work really well for is they're very sharp. They'll cut their way through if you don't push too hard, and you don't get the blowout on the back of a cabinet door. I would be lost without them anymore. So there we are. We went from this, and we get it back to what they had originally asked for to begin with. And you'll notice that the dead front on the top now matches the long drawer on this side. So it makes them appear similar. But that's it for this one. I'm going to move on to a much more complex and not looking forward to it job. And we'll probably film that one too it's this exact same bathroom from start. So anyway, I'm Papa J. This is Papa J's shop. Thanks for watching.